already at this point, while for Ambush, maybe some people are not completely aware of who they are. They're, I wouldn't say too fresh of a team, but definitely amongst the fresher teams on the scene. And they've been having some great results, especially 2 weeks ago, I believe, when they were actually participating in the. They were participating in 2 weeks ago, week 6, of course, when they lost against Gambit Youngsters in their
Yeah.
elimination series. They did get stomped quite hard. It was 16-11 and 16-8 that they lost, I believe, and it just wasn't nice. It was a little bit shaky. They did display some great qualities, though. They certainly have an element to them that is very unpredictable and could potentially take North down. But then again, North, it is after all North.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the maps as well that both of these teams have played on Overpass. Ambush in terms of who they've faced up against. It's been the likes of Salamander, of AGF, of the alternate attacks of Skade. It's teams in and around the similar level that we're seeing Ambush play at, in these weekly events. Whereas you look at the like of North, they've played Movistar Riders, they've played FaZe, Dignitas, and Fnatic, I believe. So they've played a much higher caliber of team, despite losing to, I believe it was Yapaleno as well. Maybe a little bit of an enigma result, perhaps. But again, you look at Overpass and who they've played against. It's on another level compared to Ambush. So maybe that's where we can find a difference between winning 100% against teams that are on their level and are easily beatable, compared to the 60 or so percent of North, where they've played a top 7 team in FaZe and a solid uprising team of Movistar Riders. Like you said, we know they beat Endpoint incredibly convincingly. Considering how the series went, it was kind of odd to see such a quick map from North after losing the first. They get the middle map and then stomp out of the second or the third, with Endpoint again repeating similar victory. So maybe Overpass might even be more of a crystal clear map in just terms of a solid North performance. But again, it is always interesting that Ambush, they've got that surprise factor, especially when you look at North and you've got these players. Obviously, they've brought in Christou, who I believe there was a screenshot going around. His performance, it has been very under par. He's hitting like 0.6, 0.7 rating per map that he's playing with his squad. They've got weaknesses, and Ambush, with the mind of Insta, they can exploit those.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying, that the only reason North is struggling or had struggled is because of Christou, but I definitely agree. That's a huge part, right? That's one of the 5 players that is not performing to standard, to a certain standard that is to be expected. And, surfacing with the news right now with Snappy apparently close to signing the contract, with Contact, with Contact.
Yeah.
It definitely brings to light how that does affect the team. Contact having issues with Letney and Emmy, of course, and in that sense, Christou here, obviously this is still perhaps a little bit fresh for him, and there's obviously time to improve yet. But he's definitely going to have to step up to the plate because, when you are on this level, you don't really have too much room for slacking, or maybe not slacking being the right word, but definitely just underperforming, as you said. And in this case, North can be happy that they still have the likes of MSL, Gade, and the likes, that can absolutely outshine anybody on the server and perform out of this world and kind of saving them in that sense. But last week, that was a good example of how that doesn't help you. Endpoint took them down very effectively, very quickly, almost, one could say. 16-11 is not the quickest result, but it's definitely amongst the results where you kind of ask yourself, okay, you won what? Both pistols. If I take a quick look,
I think they did.
Yeah,
right?
They won both pistols on Vertigo, lost 16-11. Then they on Overpass, they lost the first pistol, still won 16-2. And then on Dust, they won the second pistol, but still lost 16-11 after winning the half 9-6.
Yeah.
So it's there's definitely cause for concern there. But in any case, before we jump into the series themselves, make sure to check out the giveaway we have going with Skin Baron and, of course, the Esports Bible, aka Grid, and all that. So go on Twitter, tag in Esports Bible. The first pinned tweet is where the giveaway is going on. We'll go into details later for that. But right now, the details are the series is beginning. We are going to be jumping into our second best of one, the 9th round, kicking off.
Here we go. North going to be under a lot of scrutiny. These best of ones we know can be incredibly unpredictable, and North taking the defeat last week. They've got a lot riding on their shoulders, and it's interesting with North. I think the only reason that they are being maybe a little bit more critical of a player like Christo than we would have imagined is because, you know, North have a big fan base. They've got a big name, obviously, in the scene. We remember, you know, the Valde era, the Kirby times in this team. We have a certain expectation, perhaps, and you know, it is interesting whether Christo was the right choice. I saw an interesting theory, I think it was on Reddit, that maybe they should have even opted to pick up a player like Farley before Godsent did, move Cajun B into a secondary AWP supportive role like he'd used to do, you know, back in the early days of TSM and the Danish scene. That was essentially Cajun's role. He was never really a primary sniper, and I don't think he really is either in this squad. MSL seems to pick up that very often, so that would have been an option to sort of, you know, fill in Farley as this supportive hybrid maybe type AWP rifle player, or draft him in as the main. But yeah, there's a lot of speculation about North. We'll see what they can do though. Best of one here on Overpass. Ambush, of course, selecting the CT side. They'll want the more comfortable start. It is North that have to show us what they've got. T side pistol, more of a concise approach toward the A site. Read well by North, B stack from Ambush. This could be very rewarding here to start the game.
Yes, it could. Typos will be holding it alone, and if he's going to miss his timing with the jump, with the spot, he's in trouble. Luckily, Utility's already a dead giveaway, but he's going to burn behind sight as MSL and Gade will make short work of him. North opens it up with a bit of a banger. 0 points of damage yet dealt to them, and they've got the after plan set up. A classic one. We've got AZ here close to Container, of course. He's going to be playing for this immediate angle effectively with a crossfire being set up, but AZ doesn't even need a crossfire. Peeks out right, wind towards Bang. Still Zeke is able to refrag though. A 4-on-2 leaves them very vulnerable. Bang gonna be controlled over as Zeke takes a secondary. It's MSL to quit and well, not quit, but just quit their game. And 1-0 as North take the pistol once again, opening it up with a bit of a banger, you know, starting off strong. And if I may point out, just for a second, like, look at how North position themselves. Sure enough, they have a player on default, they have a player at Optimus, and a player close to that edge of Container, of that dumpster towards CT stairs. And they leave the rest of the two that are kind of hiding behind in toilets and long, and that's it. That's how you want to do that, you know, give a little bit of engagement, but don't give away everything at the same moment. And they played it perfectly. And again, they will be playing an anti-eco default, pretty classic ambush, 5 men running up towards playground. They're going to be hoping to maybe get a rifle out of it, and they will.
Yeah, they'll drop the Galil there of Gade, give them an extra weapon to play with. Least managing the bomb site well, but that's all Ambush we're looking for here, looking for a couple of kills or so. You realize that taking this full eco will lead to more of a prosperous start here on the CT side. Galil will be saved up most likely as well. But North at least getting off to a good start. 2-0 on the board so far. With Ambush beginning to maybe apply a little bit of pressure down on towards Connector. Thankfully, North will pull away. They'll give no further weapons to the side of Ambush this time. Christu taking out Zek to close the round off. That should be where things will finish up here. Second on the board for North is going to be a first investment for Ambush. There is a chance of an AWP there on Iceberg or Zek perhaps if they want a glass cannon, but shouldn't be a risk that they take so early into a game. And of course they should be dependent on the rifles, exactly so they are. Insta even down onto a FAMAS to buy the full set of utility. Same for typos and a kit in there as well. So that is what we love to see. But North, solid start. We'll try and counter the first gun round of Ambush. There's this CT side that essentially, like the similar storyline on Train with Movistar Riders, they can't let North get too many rounds early. This is T side in a best of one. They've got to be ruthless and punishing.
They really do. They really do. Connector control for Ambush established. They have themselves a little bit of an advantage built with that. Oh, Rixo spots himself a player on long. That nade will do a little bit of damage as well. Through the smoke it goes as Rixo is able to shut down Gade. On short though, there's a flank being set up through Connector. Let's see if they'll be able to handle it. Cajun B seems to be on point though. He's going to be ready for the engagement. First one out, first one to fall. Cajun B, the second denied as Insta is able to find the refrag. 3-on-3. Damage has been dealt though, and AZ low HP means that any single bullet here could be his last. Insta though, he needs to play this very smart. He can't allow himself to be caught, and well, that is exactly what he can't allow to happen to him. Zeke, though, at least able to keep the numbers even. 2v2, Zeke, another one. And MACell now left in a 1-on-2. Oh, he does not know where... Oh, he hits the...
Oh, he gets it.
Oh, my. Unfortunately, the defuse still comes through, but that was a very close call.
Incredibly, there was milliseconds on that defuse. You can see the top bar ticking as soon, literally split second. MSL connects the bullet. Ambush, they get away with a freebie. Like the previous time that we saw them, I think back in week 6, they got a couple ninja diffuses on train as well on one of the maps that they played, and that is exactly what they are starting to do yet again. North do lose the first gun round. It gives the AWP to Rixo. MSL missing a point-blank shot, but Typos re-swings the corner, gives MSL the freebie. That is not how you want to be starting off this round. B defense is now weakened. Zek, the only man on this corner really to be of any defense. They'll finally send in a rotate. Further 2 players down inside of connector. Quite a solid setup, but not a crossfire, but just a double hold. Cajun B, he could be about to read into this absolutely perfectly as they do swing the corner though. Cajun B and AZ deal with 2. Zeke, good response however. Back to a 3-on-2. They can now choose to rotate depending on the choice that they want to make. But as Cajun B finds the refrag, leaving Rixo isolated, that should now wrap up the round. North seeming to be back to winning ways and the reset potential for Ambush as well. There's no money left, so Rixo a 1-on-3 if he wants to keep the economy live here for Ambush.
I mean, Rixo, if he saves the op, he's not, like, they're not going to be exactly, you know, even if they force up the next round, they're not exactly going to be very, very plentiful with their buy, but with an op in his hands, he can definitely make a difference. He can definitely make a change. And we've seen this before, right? We've seen how a saved weapon can change the outcome of a single round, and, well, not just single round, but many other rounds as well. Whilst for Ambush, this is not exactly a perfect start, though. Sure enough, they gotten themselves one, but losing straight after, we've said this multiple times, it's doing them no justice. It's leaving them vulnerable. It's leaving them a little bit wanting, and Rixo, he will be saving the op. That's what matters right now. But as I've said, the money for the rest is limited, and even with a force buy, it's going to be very hard to get away with anything here. Unless Rixo plays the hero part and actually goes ham. Like that's, you know. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that's the only way in, unfortunately, here for Ambush. Has to be an eco round for them. They're even dropping down to 1200. Typo's not too far ahead of the game either. Already spotted out the AWP. They should realize now that the rest are stacked down on toward the B bomb site, and that is exactly where AZ will put his early challenge. Typos, however, great first for the entry. Rotate can now be made, and this is where pressure can be applied. MSL has at least the angle covered off, but it does make North just that little bit more cautious to the approach. Rixo not going to be over peaking. MSL now info gathered. Molotov down onto ramp. Keeps the players back for just that split second. Enough to deny the AWP. Keep them trapped in water. Good response, but a lineup.
Oh, Zeke.
Leaving it in a 3-on-2.
Oh.
A missed shot by MSL, and that leaves them isolated. Cajun already dead. Round gone. Ambush. They literally set up an ambush for North, and they walk right into the trap.
Well, they let themselves be taken there, and that is certainly a bit of a, not gonna say missed call by North, but definitely a missed chance by North that could have played it a lot better, a lot simpler. And you can see here Christo, I believe it was Christo actually pushing in deep. He was hoping to get a bit of an advantage and getting himself caught in the swing, though. Well, money has been lackluster for North as well. They'll be going into a bit of a force bite, Mach 10, AKs, Tech 9s. Not much, but it's honest work. Let's see if they can do any work with it. Christo finds one, Christo finds two, as AZ runs behind Zeke before they even know what happened. And
okay.
Look at Christo, like he was running to CT with the bomb. He was so enamored, he was so enveloped in his push. He's like, oh, I'm gonna keep on going, boys. I'm just gonna keep on hunting. And I respect that. And what I respect even further is he realizes, oh wait, I've got the C4. Here, plant the bomb, let's go. And I love it. North, as you said, they fall into the ambush of ambush, but they seemingly have a counter strat, and that's a straight B rush through short, through monster, and it works like a charm.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, again, it keeps ambush very, very tentative here of the rounds that are being played by North. T side is actively looking for these engagements. You can see they're confident, at least in the setups. 4 and 2. Money again is a bit more of an issue. You might see a reinvestment here from ambush, though. They can drop out 2 M4s, so that is exactly what they're going to do. We'll leave Insta down onto a FAMAS, but it's a very much needed buy round for ambush. They can't afford to allow North to further extend this lead, but this buy round is pretty much everything. They lose this one, North are on a fast track to 6 and 2, and that's a great T-side scoreline. Iceberg could be read very quickly by Gaiden. I think he just about has. The timing could not be worse. They round the corner.
Wow. Wow. Wowzers. You
What?
gotta be joking. What?
Please. Okay, there we go. Finally. Gade realizes.
Gade. Oh, Gade, you're giving me a Gade. Oh, boy, that was... Don't do a Gade again, please. That was too much. And you know what's the best part? He almost whiffed his spray as well. Imagine if he...
Yeah.
if he completely botches that, gets killed. That would have been hilarious. Well, not for North, but still. Ambush. It's an A attack they'll have to defend against, and Rixo has himself an angle, blinded just as he takes the shot. MSL is out. Second shot gonna be a miss and hit though, and Cajun B holding the off angle towards connector. Second player to join the party. Doesn't matter. Cajun B doesn't care. And it's Insta and Rixo now. Ooh, Rixo missing another shot. That is now 2 out of 3. So he better get the hell out of there, save the op, and well, Insta likewise save the FAMAS.
Easy trying to play smart, see if he could capitalize on the savior of these weapons. Already got a player down in Monster though, Cajun B. Seeing what nuisance he can make. Rixo seems to be somewhat aware. Again, 5 and 2 here. Gun round further denied. Ambush. Christo does die to the bomb blast, although Cajun B, well, he denies both of the saves, takes any weapons out of the situation. Look at that. Just the timing around that wooden pillar could not have been worse or better for both of them. Gade just gets and yeah, right there. He nearly, like you say, whiffs the spray, but fortunately, round pays off. 5 and 2. Full eco for ambush. A little bit of a tech pause here in this one to come, but still North off to a very good start.
Most certainly, keeping quite the distance early on, and we will be having a round reset. One of the players must have either crashed or we're having some issues and maybe a restart on a certain game for one. But it seems like we're already back, so it's all good. We should be fine. Some FPS drops, classical stuff, you know, CS stuff that just doesn't go away until Source 2 is released, but okay. Oh, might not even go away then, but still, you know,
yeah.
hope for a brighter future and all that. One up, as we can see. Well, North are certainly one-upping right now Ambush, so let's see if perhaps Ambush can set another ambush and maybe make out with an ambush. But 5 to 2 and a full eco. We should be expecting a rather simple and easy ending here to the round itself, although nice damage. At least starting off strong.
Great start onto MSL. Keeps at least one of these players tagged. Fortunately, it is the AWP player at least, but see where this one does go for them. Again, ambush in this full eco type round, just looking to get as much damage as possible. They know that winning the round is Somewhat unlikely. Insta. Oof. Christu very lucky to be alive. 4 HP as they do get somewhat out of the situation. A bomb site has been taken over. They'll realize that it was a full B stack fairly soon. Smokes down will start to dissipate. Of course, Ambush will attempt the retake just to put the pressure onto the bomb site. They know that they won't be getting out with the round, but it at least puts these players at a probable chance to maybe reclaim a kill or so. But either way, 6 and 2. Great mark so far for North, looking, compared to their last week best of 1, already a lot more convincing. T-side in a best of 1 is incredibly important, knowing that it is the majoritively weaker side on a game, and considering that it is a best of 1, it's nice to see North performing. Tactical timeout for Ambush expected. A little bit of a discussion to come. Again, the investment of an AWP, it's going to be limited. Glass cannon on Rixo if they do take that risk, but I'm glad that Ambush at least are tactically thinking. They'll take a small pause, give them a chance here, but of course they'll invest. It just depends on Rixo. Is he going to go for the AWP? Like you said, he missed a couple of vital shots.
He's going to go for it, man. He's going to go for it. I mean, I'm not against that. I really am not. It's a glass cannon, though. That leaves him very vulnerable. And yeah, missing a few shots here and there is not that big of an issue if you can make out of it alive, but you know, how many instances do we actually know where an opper misses like 2 or 3 vital shots potentially and then gets out of it alive, right?
Yeah.
1 shot maybe, 2 shots, oof, and 3 shots, that's already calling the lottery, man. So in this case, let's see, Ambush, they are relying heavily on Rixo as he's going to be controlling A long. He's got support by Iceberg through sight, so they will be keeping a certain eye out here for any early incursions by North. But look at what North is doing. And this is the classic old school alternate attacks default that Hunden, you know, used to run continuously with the boys. This is basically looking to take map control early on towards party, towards toilets, and then focus in towards connector and be short. Rixo will take the first shot. Will not be exactly anywhere in the vicinity of a frag, but it's a start. Now they know they have an op to deal with, though. North, that's a lot of information for them. Keep in mind, they should be aware of the economy situation of Ambush, or at least should kind of know how much money they have left. And with an op up in play, they'll know that that is a sacrificial lamb. At best, you know, with mini Kevlar, no utility. At worst, glass cannon.
As well, with the way that North are playing right now, very, very careful in their approach. And well, there we go, Rixo. Flashbanged again, taken out of the situation. Nice lineup. Cajun B just barely gets out alive.
Yeah.
Incredibly unfortunate to not be able to find the kill there. We'll take over the bomb site. Lineup. Christu spots 2. Can't get the spray, but realizing now that the B bomb site have 2 rotators on its way. Health is very even across the board. MSL, though. Ooh, I don't think... Okay, now he did spot Insta. There we go. Shuts out one of the vital retake players. Will force a save out of Ambush. 7 and 2. The worst part, they're not able to retrieve the AWP. They go into this round again with 2 rifles, but very limited at that. And North now really starting to punish here. 7 and 2. Eco to come. Chance for the first half to already be in the back pockets of North. This is quite a scary prospect. Ambush starting out quite a treacherous path. 100% win rate so far, but not meaning anything against a North that seems to already have found that momentum spot.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is very reminiscent of how it went down against Endpoint. They lost the first pistol, they lost the second round, which was an eco round for North, and all of a sudden, it's back to squares ones. And, well, they did win the pistol, excuse me. North won the pistol here and then lost the second round, but still, it's like, effectively 2 rounds still only to Ambush. Doesn't really do them too much justice whatsoever or helps them too much. Typos, close range. Does he get checked? Of course he does not, or at least not immediately, as AZ's not ready for the close fight. Cajun B, pop flash works out though and saves his life as Cajun B finds a second gate. Will support that push as he takes down long control for Zeke, and that all of a sudden becomes, you know, after a nice idea of Ambush to try and take control of party, of playground, and potentially Fountain Deep. They get themselves caught in a bit of a wild swing, and it is Iceberg that replies at least, but it's a 2-on-2 all of a sudden that, unfortunately for Ambush, they shouldn't be having too much of a challenge to begin with anymore. Christo. Oh. That was valiant. Insta. Nice attempt, but it's a 1-on-3, guys, and okay. That is fast and furious by Insta. Well enough damage dealt, if nothing else.
A rifle that can be saved. Yeah, this might actually benefit Ambush just that little bit. Cajun B realizing that he is pressing towards CT, though. Insta trying to do as much damage as possible. Retake, of course, as we know, is probably off the cards already. But I respect the effort for trying. Gets away with a kill at least onto Cajun B as well. Fair enough. Gade will get the job finished. AWP not retrievable. 8-2. North will not care at the moment. They're racking up the rounds. That's all that matters. Ambush back onto their full buy. This time Rixo, AWP, and the Kevlar to support it. A lot of utility across the further 4 players. Diffuse kits among them as well, which is exactly what you like to see, but a very important round. They lose this one. North are on their way to double digits, already making Overpass look like a breeze so far, and that's exactly what they want to do. That's Typo's dead. Zeke was still tagged. He's not even been finished off yet. Essentially a very quick potential of a 5-on-3. This is a rough start for Ambush yet again.
I'm not particularly sure as to why Typos is pushing B short while Zeke is falling back. It's like, you want to take B short, it's all good. Try it. It's not a problem that you're doing that. It's a problem when you're doing it alone. And right now, Ambush seems to be lost in their own mind a little bit. Oh, Zeke, he hears the jump. He knows that AZ's right below him, but he can't do anything about it. And oh, maybe. Oh my god, the timing. It's so close. And AZ finally going to be caught as Zeke is able to find himself the return. And Zeke the second. Wowzers. That's through the wall, like through the little barrier there.
Oh, Chris.
Unfortunately. Oh, Christo runs out of bullets. What is this? Magic. Unfortunately, doesn't matters. Well, it does matter a little bit at least, as Rixo's able to refrag back to a 2-on-1.
Fake plant from Gade. Second commitment to come. They will walk down catwalk. Exactly the right thing to do. They'll have the drop on the timing. Ambush. They'll get the retake. Only just, but come out successfully with it. Christo running into a bit of trouble there with the lack of bullets in the chamber, unfortunately. But either way, getting themselves afloat. Just barely. But enough to see the CT side stabilize for at least a round moving forward. Rixo should be dropping out an M4 as well, just to keep the economy afloat. That's exactly what he'll be doing, of course. Chance for Ambush to make as many rounds as they can here in this first half. Like you say, the fact that when they played against Endpoint, they got a total of 2 rounds across the entire map. Ambush already doing one better. Again, it's a T side from North that is looking quite scary. The rebuy to come. They've got money in the bank as well for the next round if things do go a little south. So Ambush, they've got to be prepared. They've got to be consistent here. Play for not just a single round. We know that CT sides really do fall on their knees when they pick up a round but then instantly get reset. We know that can be breaking this side quickly. North. Right back into a default. No pressure at all onto these stacks or onto the rushes. Playing as calm as we know they can be. Christo just holding this lurker position down toward the B site. They've got every option covered. It's more about Ambush wanting to find the info or make a mistake perhaps here that going to be a bit more of a cause for concern. But there we go, Zeke capitalizes onto Christo. That's their lurker play gone. It's going to be a commitment toward the A site, and Iceberg might just be about to get incredibly lucky.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Sure.
Finally, a little bit of luck comes the way for Ambush as well, and a little bit of good graces. This is exactly what we should have been expecting from the get-go, and it certainly saves Ambush a lot of trouble moving forward, and I mean, they're not out of it yet, but it gives them that benefit of doubt, right? It gives them the chance to potentially still make this first half somewhat commendable at an 8-7 or 7-8, excuse me. Even if it's 9-6, given what they had to go up against at the beginning, it's going to be better than, you know, anything else they could have hoped for in any case. Iceberg coming in big, and he would have thought that North are Titanic with it, given how they dealt with that, but luckily we are not sure if they're Titanic yet or not. Imagine if your team is called Titanic and the opponent's team is called Iceberg. Like, how do you ever win that? You just simply cannot win, surely. It's like, you can't win that match. Yes, Titanic, of course. I know, bad jokes. I know, all around. Always. Oh! Well, that wasn't a bad joke. That was a pretty damn good one, and good night, MSL.
Handed it insta headshot there. Bomb plant not going to be denied, at least. Iceberg, though, there he is. Takes out the first, gets the second. A very easy retake for Ambush, of course, even bagging himself the third. And Rixo just gets it done through the wall, as easy as that. 5 on the board for Ambush. T-side now being thwarted in their momentum so far. Beautiful shot by Rixo as well, just timing to perfection. But Ambush at least making this first half now look a lot better. This CT side not as fully demoralized, not as wiped off of the first half as we might have thought. Penultimate round of the first half. You know, double digits, it's still on the cards for North if they can reach into that sort of precipice, but this is at least a safer performance now from Ambush. It's not ideal on a CT side, but it's at least manageable compared to the 13-2 that we saw from North against Endpoint.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. I will have to point out, I'm not sure what Ambush really wanted to achieve with those deep Molotovs towards Party. I get the Molotov into short B, but if you usually Molotov Party, Playground deep, and of course the exit through Playground, you want to take control, you want to be showing your I'm not saying your cards, but you're definitely putting yourself out there, and you want to be in control, of course. And right now, they've pulled back so far that they're leaving themselves vulnerable. Short control is now in their hands, sure, but long is being under attack. And, well, Christo will find one. That's Rixo. Cage and B takes down Iceberg, who's been there for the defense, and, well, doesn't really matter. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you display that amount of utility that early on, usually it means you want to go aggro. Usually it means you want to take control. And I get that. And of course Ambush wanted to, you know, slow down North if at all possible, but they left them completely open and long. And what else will North do but just run up the site and take it? And well, right now, that's exactly what they did do. And Zeke, you know, yeah, 9-5. And this will be most likely a 10-5 ending, although money is there, so it's not the end of the line. There's definitely room for more here. Definitely room for a 9-6, as I said. It's not going to be the worst there.
Yeah, this is at least better for North to guarantee round number 9. Ambush. Final round of the first half, though. If they can make 6, DT side again will seem a little stable. AZ straight through the smoke with the Molotov there, down on toward the B short position. Trying to see if they can maybe exploit the setup early, but so far nothing to come of it yet. Managing the corners nicely, making sure no boosts are being orchestrated. But again, you can see with the way that North are playing, it is this lurker in toward the A side of the map, insta spotting nothing upon the jump up. Christy will get himself safely out of the position as well. A reason to be sort of putting yourself in the firing line. Zeke on this corner, though. This could be an interesting entry. Light little gap that they have to play with. There we go. It works out beautifully. Gets away with the first. Spotting out Krista as well. Molotov down, but the rest of the side has to start to commit. AZ gets away with a headshot at least. Deck exposing himself as well. Christo didn't spot the feet though. Insta nice nade over the top. to a 4-on-3, and Zeke still allowed to survive on this bomb site. There we go. 9 and 6 will be coming through most likely for Ambush. Down to Cajun being a 1-on-3, but with time not on his side, unfortunately, and the bomb down on the back of the site, it's going to be an incredibly hard round to win. I'm not going to write him off yet, but it will be a difficult one, especially now with 10 seconds left on the plant. Has to commit to it here. Might be able to get away with it, perhaps.
Could be. He will. Maybe even a frag if he's lucky enough. Yo, he's being hunted down,
yeah.
although...
No.
Cajun B! He knows! He knows! Oh! Cajun B! Yes, sir. Give it to me more. That was perfect. Sublime.
What?
As ambush themselves in a 1-on-3, they go in one by one, everybody more afraid than the other, and Cajun B just says, nah, man, nah, that ain't happening. You're not getting away with playing like that. And look at the statistics, look at how it's all been turning around here. North, you know, they're not exactly in the top edge, but they are making it happen. 10-5. And of course, remember, boys, we have a giveaway going on all week long, ending on Sunday at the end of the tournament, at the official end of the tournament, with week 8 being the last iteration of it. We've got an M9 Damascus Steel bayonet, and we've got the M4 A1S, help me out here, I always forget what name of the skin it is, but a few vouchers as well from Skin Baron. So make sure to go to the Esports Bible Twitter and check it out, as it is the pinned tweet. But in any case, the second pistol man, holy hell, Cajun B, I still cannot let go of that.
Right, that's a highlight play from him right there. North, that might just be what they need. Oh, Iceberg. He dies. If Iceberg dies, that's the bomb down. If Iceberg dies, that's the bomb. And MSL,
yeah,
able to find the kill, and an aggro push that really pays off here. And you can tell with the way that he's playing right now, just sits back, no reason to over-aggress this, spots the info, will now fall back. Support through connector doors, Gade already has it covered. Already down to a 5-on-3, and this is North again. Looking fairly comfortable. Zeke tagged down as well. Christu will take a dink along the way. As MSL in support, those tapping away with that USP. Players health depleting left, right, and center.
Oh, Christo.
And there we go. Yeah, double to finish the job. 11-5. North are on the onwards and upwards here.
Both pistols secured, giving them a very hefty advantage. And as you said, double digits going into 11 now. It is certainly... It's starting to look a little bit scary as Ambush is out of options. And once more, I want to point out Ambush. They played it one by one. They went in through connector alone on B short. No support coming through Monster. And generally speaking, they just left themselves to be vulnerable. And, well, they're not really doing themselves any justice, are they? Anyway, in any case, alrighty. We're going to have a very quick ending to the eco here, as expected. And North is looking to make short work of their opponents here, as they want to face off Excomago as soon as, well, possible.
Yeah, wanting to just exert minimal effort here from North, and I think they're exactly on their way to do that at the moment. 12-5. First gun round to come here for the side of Ambush. North, of course, keeping the FAMASs in play, keeping their bonus round weapons up to scratch. A hell of a lot of utility, though, so this is still going to be a dangerous round on the side of Ambush to play. 8 over the top. Do any damage, really, actually. Keeps everybody on around 100 health. Rixo takes single tag. Not that it will make a difference. Typos. Tries the peek from connector, spots out the info there on the side of North. They'll fall back. No reason to commit to that sort of play. There's Ambush that seem to be favoring the A side here so far. Through short they go. Potential to drop down to connector, but Cajun B. Flashbang was perfect. Timing could not have been better. Insta walks into the corner.
I'm not even sure why. It's like...
Yeah. I think he maybe tried to catch MSL's recoil reset, but didn't work in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, if that was, maybe the reasoning behind it, but then again, it's, you're walking through a very difficult angle. You've already lost one. You don't have any support. You're walking into it, shifting into it. It's like you've just been shot from that position. Clearly, it would be foolish to assume that the CTs would not be watching that position at least a few moments longer, right? And for me, Ambush right now, they seem to be a little bit like truly disheveled. They're just kind of losing their way. They're not really sure how to deal with North, I think. It's quite apparent, really. On the CT, it was the same problem. They seem to be afraid of going into battles and going into an engagement, and they're going to be going for this B take. And again, Christo, he's already done his job. That's all he needed to do in that case. He doesn't need to get all three, but a damage and a kill. And in the end, the round. 13-5 as North is seemingly sailing towards that victory. And seems like the proverbial iceberg this time will have melted already.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like that, right? Ambush at this point, they are maybe too deep here, unfortunately. North, again, just playing a very convincing set of rounds here on Overpass. Sure, they've allowed a couple extra rounds compared to the endpoint game, but not that it makes too much of a difference here with the form that North seem to have hit here. It's very malleable. MSL challenging early, dropped down to 3 health, but still surviving. Rixo finally finished the job. Cajun B, however, doesn't want to overpeak. Maybe that is why Rixo able to at least punish. Gets away with the second frag onto Cajun B, forces the hand of North now to just be a little more careful. A-sided stack, 2 players ready for the approach. But if there's any round that teams are trying to win or wanting to win to really offset the momentum, the Eagle round is definitely one to do that to you. Although, Shadow spotted, yeah. There we go. Ambush. They should be now looking a lot more strengthy here. Christo, good response, however, gets away with a double.
Yeah.
Here's the drop-off of typos as well, so has to be aware of that one. But Zeke, most important player here right now on the flanks, and I think he might have just been red.
Oh no, Gade goes into heaven, seemingly ignorant of Zeke's position. As one would expect, of course, given the position that North is in. Zeke, he first needs to get rid of Gade, and he's doing exactly that by the looks of it. Knife? Nope, no knife, just a deagle shot, fair enough. And now back into a 1-on-2 as Christo does not know where the bomb is. Oh, he spots the bomb! No way! Zeke, a 1-on-1. Oh, the timing. The timing is insane there as Christo turns around in the nick of time in the last moment. And he saves himself. Oh. What can I say? That is just an unlucky break for Ambush. And, well, 14-5. This is it. Ambush, last chance. It's do or die now.
Really, yeah. If Ambush do lose this one, that is North pretty much guaranteeing the closure here of this best of 1. A much more convincing performance compared to last week's showing in the best of 1s, which is always nice to see here. But Ambush, what can they do? It is down to them to really turn the tides here on this map. SL will be getting the first. Yeah, Rixo.
He spots a second.
Ooh, Iceberg, good return.
Overconfident. MSL definitely being a little bit cocky there. You know, he didn't need to go for a second frag. He spotted him. That was enough info already. And with the first rack secured, he was safe and sound to move back to A side, go into a defensive posture. But he wanted more. And I get it, right? They're leading. They have the advantage. They're feeling good. I get that. It's not like it's an issue. It's just didn't need to die there, I guess. Gonna be an A take. Let's see how successful it is, actually. Here comes the execution. Oh, they spot the player in toilets just in the nick of time as well. That's a problem. Christo needs to hold his position carefully, and he will hold it. Although Typos refrags, it's still going to be a hold by Cajun B! Again! delivering the untimely death of Ambush, and well, once again, it is Cajun B that proves to be the true iceberg here. The ice that does not break and that does not shatter, and above all else, that does not melt. 15-5 as North is living up to the name and living up to the reputation. It is going to be the last round here. Ambush, this is it. It's 10 rounds in a row, or they are going to face Movistar Riders in the Elimination Series. And a boost in connector, already starting off with the, well, the deadly hallows, the deadly trumpets.
Yeah.
A second for Cajun. It is all coming down on Ambush now.
It seems like this series, this best of one, might already be culminating, unfortunately. MSL prepared on the back of the A bomb site. As soon as they cross over toward Monster or toward Optimus Prime, this should be where the kills do come through. MSL misses point blank. 2 shots though. Thankfully, Cristo able to wrap up a second kill. Stays in the corner, stays super safe. One will be planted, but a 4-on-2 retake, especially with a scout in hand.
Oh, he actually gets the tag.
Narrowly does, yeah. Rixo already dead though, unfortunately. And there we go. 16-5 North. Is there a lot to say? Yeah, not particularly. It's the same performance as Endpoint. It was a very classy, very nice approach to Overpass. They did the work, the majority of it, on that T side, realistically. So as soon as they switched into CT, it was a very simple finish, North making it look fairly clinical.
They really were. It's easy, it's fast, it's effective, and in the end, it is what we expected, a victory for North. Ambush, good luck in their loser series. We won, or the elimination series. We won't be seeing that, of course, going to be taken over by Dweg and Jay, I believe.
Yeah.
But right now, North going up against XCOM Ago. I think maps are going to be really, well, that's always important, but I think which map will be to begin with will be extremely important here. Is it train? Is it overpass? Is it something of the like, right? That's going to be of vital significance. But in any case, as you can see in front of you guys, the Groups A brackets currently for today already forming up the winner series. The first team to move out into the playoffs this weekend, the last playoffs of Home Sweet Home, Week 8 will be either Ago or North. And on top of that, we'll have the first elimination of the week as well.
Yeah, we'll be taking a short break, though. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in around 45 minutes or so to start breaking down. But of course, before we leave, make sure to enter the giveaway brought to you by Skin Baron. Of course, head over to @the Esports Bible on Twitter. Check their pinned tweet. Enter to win yourself a Damascus Steel knife, a M4A1S, and plenty of Skin Baron on-site voucher codes. But with that being said, we'll take a short break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back for XCOM Ago versus North. Winners best of 3. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
you.